work. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, folks, I think I'm very sorry for those of you who were watching a second ago. I'm pulling it up on my phone right now to make sure we're good. But for those of you who were watching a second ago, we tried to go live. We couldn't hear Dennis. I think I got it fixed now. Talk to me, Dennis.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. I think I hear myself on your phone.
I hear it.
Yeah, I hear you. I just hear myself like echoing a little bit, but like that's better than not being able to hear you at all, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's try this again.
Hello.
Okay, well, we'll just go till people complain. Anyway.
What is it that you're saying that you're hearing about yourself?
After I get done talking, there's like a little bit of a echo of me talking, but it's better than it was a little bit ago.
Okay.
So we were laughing because somebody commented a second ago that it was clearly my first time hosting a live stream, and you couldn't be more right. I mean, absolutely 100%. I told Dennis before we went live this was going to be kind of a, you know, trial by fire kind of thing, you know. So we're gonna do the best we can today, but then we will be better next time.
Well, I mean, you know, for a first time to, you know, you resolved it fairly quickly once we got back on. So. Oh,
yes.
So are you having to listen? Can you hear me?
I'm listening just to make sure it's okay.
Okay. Diamond Rio. Diamond Rio, can you hear both of us? What's up, my guy?
I thought you meant like the band Diamond Rio was on here. I was about to say like.
Oh.
It says Diamond Rio fan.
Diamond Rio fan. He's been an OG since day one for us, man.
We know Diamond.
Tell me something. I love me some Diamond Rio.
Yes.
Great band. So anyway, let's just do everything we said before the first time to refresh everybody because they couldn't hear you, Dennis. So Dennis has a very busy day today because he's going to be on my live stream here. And hey, they said they can hear you now. So he's gonna be on my live stream, and then right after that, he's with Kofi on his live stream. Shout out Kofi gang. So Dennis is gonna be over there with Kofi, and so he's got a full day of it, and now we're behind because of the technical difficulties. So that means that we got to get to it. So Dennis. As you were before when they told us they couldn't hear you, tell me about what you got going on in your channel, and while you're doing that, I'm going to be listening to the stream to make sure that everything's working properly.
Today is an introduction on the channel to Olivia Rodrigo. Yesterday I filmed reactions to Driver's License and her brand new music video, Good For You. I remember her from, I guess months ago when Driver's License first came out. People were like, do Driver's License. I was like, what's Driver's License? So I just kind of never really thought about it. But when Jacob brought it up the other day, I think people in the chat were like, Olivia Rodrigo's dropping a new one at midnight. I was like, who is this? So looked it up. Driver's License kind of clicked. It was like, okay.
Well, Driver's License is like the song of 2021 so far. Like it's like a big deal, very big deal.
It's a very good song.
Yes.
I was blown away.
Yes, absolutely. So I had heard my fiance loved that song because right when it exploded, she was like, "You got to hear this song," and I was like, "Wait a minute." I was like, "If it's a popular song, I'm gonna wait to hear it on YouTube. Like, I don't want to hear it in the car. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it on YouTube first." So I reacted to it like back in January or February, whenever it blew up. And there's always James Bond said this is the bomb. James Bond 007 said this is the bomb.
He's
But
the expert.
yes, so I reacted to it back then, and it was you know, there's been so many covers of it done. You know, Morissette did a cover of it, and
She did?
yeah, literally like a cappella, no instrumentation at all. So you got to check that out, man. That's like big time stuff. But yeah, so you've got Olivia Rodrigo coming to the channel, the new artist for you for the channel. You have if you're like me, do you have trouble balancing like? Of course, you have the artists that like people have subbed because you have featured their music and stuff. So you want to feature those, you know, Home Free, Pentatonic, those artists like that. But then at the same time, you want to feature new artists as well. Sometimes that's a tough balance for me. Do you find that as well?
It is, because when you're trying to stretch out, you can forget about, I guess, like the Home Frees and the Pentatonics and all of those things. Like, it's taking me, I think, 3-4 months to get through Pentatonics, the sing-off journey.
Yeah.
Because, like, I keep doing it, that I wander away to get new things in. So yeah, it is a balance to keep subscriber base happy while exploring new areas of music. It gets tough. Like,
Yeah.
to be able to keep it, I guess in a proper balance, you'd have to upload like 4 or 5 videos a day. Which is
Oh
awesome.
yeah, that's like, and then you get to the point where it's like too much. I talked about it when we did that live stream with Kofi and Jacob last week. I talked about how there was one day where I did like 4 videos in a day, and I could just feel that it was just too much. I was like, it's too much, too many videos. I felt like some of them got lost in the shuffle a little bit because there were just so many uploads in a day. So I try to keep it to 2. I try to keep it to 2 a day. And I know I think that's kind of what you do as well.
Every now and then there'll be a third, but
Yeah.
most of the time 2 a day. Yeah.
Yeah, the only time I'll do 3 is if I do one of like a cover or an original song in addition to the reaction videos. So obviously you got the boys with you today. This is a rare thing for them to, because they're featured on the channel sometimes, but they're not on there they're not on there for every single video, but they're on there a lot. So what have you guys been up to with school and all that good stuff?
We just had field day yesterday. Yeah, and we've been doing baseball for a little bit. Our last few games are coming up, and Jacob just finished his season.
Yeah, I did so many water games.
Water games at field day yesterday.
Yeah, man.
I literally did a water balloon fight, and I literally just crushed the party.
They're living.
Crash the party.
They're living simpler times than us, Dennis.
Oh man, but they're just having a blast with it. They're really good kids.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so excited.
I'm in
for
a
the next
gifted
field day.
class as well.
Yeah. So
He's in enrichment at his school. He gets to do all kind of awesome little side projects and everything.
Yeah.
So
We
he
just
does
got
really
done.
good.
We just got done with a business project where you had to create a business plan and say what you're like going to do. Is it going to be a good or service?
wow. So are you guys excited for summer? Obviously, I mean that's the.
I got junior university for summer.
That's a long yes. That's like a Daniel Bryan yes right there.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
So he's excited about sleeping late and just kind of doing whatever, but he has a couple of weeks of something called junior university here. Is for like the enrichment type students, and they're going to be challenging them to higher things, higher grade level things, getting him ready for jumping into middle school.
Wow.
Yep. And then there's a phase 2, which if you complete all 3 years of eligibility, you move on to phase 2. And if you complete all 3 years of eligibility, you get an honored cord.
Yeah.
For high school graduation.
For high school graduation.
Tell you what, they need to let you guys wear the NFT shirts to your graduation someday. Just
Forever enough.
yes, absolutely. Somebody on here said Caleb should have started a YouTube channel. You're welcome for that. You're welcome for acknowledging that, Dennis.
That ain't happening. He ain't getting no YouTube channel.
This is the livest anybody has ever seen Jacob. When I tell people that in real life Jacob is like really a live wire, but in the videos and the reaction he kind of just sits there and kind of shy. It's just because of the reactions. Outside of that, he is a live wire.
Yeah.
Just like this.
Ben, go ahead and ask your question for the boys if you want.
Yeah. Somebody said they had a question for them. So, Dennis, how long? While we're waiting on that question, and of course, if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in. Either for me, for Dennis, for the boys, either one. We're here to just hang out for a while. But Dennis, so when did you start your channel? Because we've collabed on videos before, but we didn't really give the background info on when you kind of got started on YouTube.
I think he started the year after it came out, either 2006 or 2007. We did a few vlogs.
But that was different content though than what you're doing now.
Go ahead and tell them.
So he had break skate for a few years. Then he stopped that like in the next year because I think he stopped in 2007.
I stopped skating in 2007. That's correct.
And then fast forward a few years later, like 2015, 2016, 2017. We started to do vlogs around the house, like just normal everyday life.
Let him tell.
And I remember we did one with the first time Jacob was going to Tuscaloosa for Alabama.
Yeah, roll tide.
Oh no.
But you know,
But now we're
like there were skate videos at first. It was the place. I think it's.
I know what the vlog video.
Here, we'll talk about the vlogs in a second. It started off with skate videos just as a bucket to upload old skate videos to get new shows back when I used to skate.
Yeah.
Once I stopped skating, there's some old videos of my daughter singing when she was trying to get shows with her singing career started.
Yep.
Then we tried YouTube because Roman Atwood was like really good with vlogs. Matthew Santoro was vlogging. Dose of Hold on one second, buddy. Fuzi2 was on Dose of Fuzi vlogging, so we tried to vlog. What's that guy's name? I forgot the other guy's name. He kept doing challenge videos. I forgot his name. So we started to do challenge videos, and then we did trailer reactions. We did all kinds of things.
I think it was like Steve
Challenge where there was whipped cream and whoever did this
Pie in the face.
Pie in the face.
I won
So
all the rounds that I was in.
and it's still on the channel.
I won Daddy.
It's on the
I won
channel.
him. I won him.
Yeah, it's still on the channel if you guys want to go look at it. But yeah, and then we started doing reactions every now and then. There was a home free reaction like maybe 2-3 years ago. We were going to try to do it. We never really did. Like if you want to see Caleb like super young, watch the Butch reaction. Like he's
That's
so
when
little.
the recording room wasn't even in our dining room, which
It was like right at the front door.
it was at the front door.
But we started doing reactions full time like this last March.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Long answer to a question.
Beside the front door.
Yeah. Well, that's about the same time. I mean, when I did an interview with our live stream with Jacob, we talked about this, but we were talking about when we started our channels, like what we expected to come of it, what we expected it to be. And I literally, everybody wants to start a YouTube. I mean, everybody you talk to, they want to start a channel or a podcast or something to, And so I'd want to start a channel for a while, and when I did, I wasn't even thinking like this is going to be like a thing that's a huge part of my life. It was like it'll be a hobby, you know, upload a video or two a week, and you know, we'll be good to go. But then, like, I don't remember at what point I was like, oh my gosh, like this is actually like a thing. Like this is going to be like a big part of my existence here is this channel, because people were really getting into it. And so now here we are, you know, all these months and months later. And COVID, obviously, I mean, there's no bright side to COVID, obviously, but there was so much free time with COVID for a while there that it was like I was able to really pour into the channel because, you know, it was so nothing going on. And now obviously things are getting back to normal. But yeah, whatever that is, if we can even remember what it is. But so yeah, it's really an interesting thing just to look back at some of the older videos like you're talking about and be like, man, I had no clue what this channel was going to turn into.
I know, dude. Like, it's amazing what happens when something I got some downtime. Let's just try this out.
Yeah.
Like, but you're a singer. You're a singer. Like, you know music. You have an understanding of music. You can sing, and he's getting it. I can't sing. I really don't know anything about music, but I love it. It's like my release in life.
Yep.
So I've always wanted to be like the Simon Cowell, who can't really tell you anything, but I can tell you if it's good.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, I think the thing that makes channels like ours and so many other channels out there, you know, like Kofi's or Tudo's or whoever, that really makes it work is my goal is just to be like that guy that you're riding in the car with and you just hear something good on the radio, you know, that natural, genuine thing. You know, I don't ever want it to feel like I'm trying to put on a show, you know, for the camera, right? So I want it to feel like I'm sitting here with a friend of mine and we're listening to good music. You know, that's what I want it to be like on the channel. And your channel definitely has that vibe to it, you know, where it's like very, very honest, genuine kind of thing. Because we all know, we've seen the channels where it's like this person is clearly trying to put on a show for the camera. So I'm not calling any names, but anywho, so we've been talking about, because after we collabed around like Christmas, I think it was around Christmas time, because we reacted to a Christmas song, I think, at that time, and then we've been in touch kind of on Instagram ever since, and we don't live that far apart, right? We're like a few hours.
Yeah, we're like 3 hours. I think Birmingham, the Birmingham area. I didn't mean to call you out there. The Birmingham, because I'm West Central Georgia, so I think we're about 3 hours away.
Yeah, something like that. So not very far. But we've been talking about just all of our interests and things we're interested in, other than, because I think people see people like us on the channel and they're like, they are the music YouTuber guys, you know. But we talked about on Jacob's stream last week about how, you know, other content we would like to eventually get to about other things that we're interested in, you know, in addition to music. And obviously wrestling was brought up because I remember watching some of your videos, and it was an older video, but you had on the old AEW t-shirt, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this guy's a wrestling fan. And it's amazing to me because when I was younger, I like tried to hide that fact about myself, because I was like, oh, you know, like wrestling's not cool to people, you know, I need to not talk about that because they'll make fun of me or whatever. And now I'm like, dude, come on. Like, I wish I could go back and tell my younger self how dumb that was.
Wrestling is the bomb.
Yeah, when it's done right, there's just nothing better.
That's the problem, though, man. Like,
exactly.
Like, the biggest company in the wrestling world is not doing it right. I can't stand WWE's product right now.
Yeah, I have. So I've got to admit, Raw is tough right now, but I have enjoyed SmackDown a little more because I believe that I love what they're doing with Roman Reigns, which is ironic because there were so many years where I hated what they were doing with Roman Reigns. So I enjoy Roman, and I enjoy I like. It seems like they're pushing new people over there on the Blue brand. Guys like Cesaro and guys like that. But Raw really, and it's the 3-hour thing for me is a big deal. Raw being 3 hours, I'm like, bro, that's a long time to watch a wrestling show.
Yeah, it is. I like the 2-hour mark. I haven't watched SmackDown in a little while. Like, I'll catch glimpses here and there. I can't watch Raw. Like, I just can't. Like, AJ Styles is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
And he's always been the pit bull, smaller than everybody, but his grit and his fight and his determination is what got him over. And they've turned him into, like, a silly kind of
goofy,
whimsical character. And I can't get behind
him. It's kind of one of those things where, and because of COVID and they don't have a live crowd and the Thunderdome deal is cool, but it's, they got the fake sound effects. And a lot of people were saying that that's why the product's kind of stale right now on Mondays, especially is because of the lack of the live crowd. And it definitely doesn't help, but I think there's just, there are certain things that they do that even if you had a live crowd, it wouldn't really work that well. So
there's definitely a disconnect with the way they run their show.
Yeah. And I taking that last hour off would help a lot for me. But it's nothing against the talent. Like, the talent they have is tremendous. I just sometimes I'm a little stunned by some of their choices. But yeah, I started. I grew up in the middle of the Monday Night Wars. The big ratings war. So I grew up in like the boom of like the height of popularity.
Monday Night Wars.
Yes, I would watch them both. I just flip back and forth between the two shows, and it was, I don't know if it'll ever reach those heights again, unfortunately. But and some of that has to do with, in my opinion, with social media and the internet. Like, now there's no element of surprise.
Kayfabe is dead.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Kayfabe is dead, and is also, they're not going to get raunchy and risque like they used to either.
Yeah, and
they've toned it down.
Yeah, they've toned it down, and like for me, like you can tone it down and still have a quality product. I don't know. I don't want. We'll have a separate. If we start doing wrestling content, we can have a full conversation about it. But somebody wanted to know, Caleb, what is your favorite subject in school?
I also saw another question. It said, how many years is middle school? I think it's 3.
Yeah.
7th, 8th, and 9th.
No,
and then,
6th,
7th, 8th.
Oh, 6th, 7th, 8th. Never mind.
And what's your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject in school is social studies.
Nice.
Mine.
Social studies and math are like my 2 most favorite.
What are your favorite
Science is a close third.
So either math or like reading or like ELA, right?
Math and science.
Okay.
See, mine was lunch.
Mine was PE. So
There you go. That was a combo. Somebody.
I like lunch and PE.
Yes, we got one comment that said the Attitude Era was the best, Dennis, and
It was.
that it was.
Followed by Ruthless Aggression.
Yes, I thought Ruthless Aggression Era in some ways was even better to me than the Attitude Era in some ways. James Bond 007 said me too. I think he's talking about the lunch being the favorite subject of the day. So
if it was pizza, I was getting 2 trays that day, baby.
Yes, I'll totally get 2 trays.
absolutely. So
20 trays.
yes. So obviously, Dennis, we've got we're just kind of shooting the breeze here. We didn't have a script when we came on here today, guys. We just said we're going to go in there and talk. So what have been the videos for you on your channel? Because of course, I've had certain artists and videos that just have brought in such a unbelievable amount of support because of their support for that artist, and then they come to my channel and enjoy that kind of stuff too. What have been kind of the artists for you that have really given your channel a boost over the last year or so as your channel's really come along? Because I've had a few, and I know you have too.
Yeah, well, the home fries always come through, like the acapella groups, the home fries,
Yeah.
the Pentaholics.
The
I think they're called the voice players. Like I think there's
Yep.
some voice plays
The
groups.
The TNT Boys fans and also Deers, I think.
The Deers,
Yes.
Even the Friday Night
Blinks.
Funkin'.
BTS Army have come through. Got a lot of Nightwish Army people.
Nightwood.
And then
NF.
yeah, the NF
Yeah,
Army.
NF was big.
NF Army.
Yep.
NFTs are huge.
Yes.
NF Army.
Lately, the Filipino fan base has really come through with the Morissette video kind of blowing up, and with like TNT, and then Katrina Velarde. You know, you introduced me to Marcelito. Like,
Yeah.
Budikel is just never ending. And
Acapella.
in Easy Meal, I have an Easy Meal reaction coming out tomorrow.
Yep.
That's not kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I definitely owe a lot. I think both of us do to the acapella kind of community, those groups like that, and then the Filipino artists, like that Filipino music scene. And it's a shame because before I started the channel, I didn't know about the Filipino music scene at all, and how like you said, Morissette, Marcelito, Pomoy, like all those unbelievable singers.
Unbelievable.
Like some of the best in the world, and it took, my channel coming along before I, knew who they were, and that's just like, and they have such kind, we talked about before we went on, like we have trolls sometimes in our comments,
yeah.
but like some of just like the kindest people that like I get comments from. I mean, I get this on a lot of videos, but especially some of those Filipino artists, people are commenting like, hey, praying for you, all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, man, these are just the nicest people,
Sweetest people.
yes, and it's,
The sweetest people.
yeah, I always go through and read their comments. It's so man, sometimes people will comment in other languages, and
Go Google and translate.
yeah, I copy and paste it over to Google Translate, and there's people just reach out and say some of the nicest stuff. Somebody said they came to both of our channels for home free, and then learned more about voice play through our channels. So that's great.
Voice play is the thing, man.
Dude.
Can't Help Falling in Love was the first reaction we did, and they came from a suggestion in the comment section. Like, if it were not for the comments, we would have never heard of voice play.
Yeah, same. Absolutely same. And that's the same with a lot of, somebody mentioned Gold Dust.
Said gold.
The bizarre one. Most of the artists on my channel I discovered just through the comments. People would, be like, hey, you got to check out, this artist, and I would go check them out and be like, oh my gosh, like, unbelievable. Somebody wanted to know, Brad, did you ever watch other reactors? Yes. You can chime in here as well. Well, yeah, you guys, and obviously, but these are you guys' channels, yours and Tudo's and Danielle Sings and all that. I just discovered you guys' channel, of course, within the last year. But before that, I mean, there were, of course, channels that there was kind of the inspiration behind me starting, my channel was channels like Laid Back, his channel, and he does, he's a rap artist, I think, and he was only reacting to NF. That was what exposed me to him, was NF reactions, and so him, and there's a channel called Brother. For those of you who ever had the app Vine, they were the guys who had the infamous "Made Me Drop My Croissant" Vine.
You almost made me drop my croissant.
Yeah, it was them. They had a channel, and I think one of the brothers has gone off and started his own channel now. But like, their stuff was so, because they're singers. They lead worship at like their church and stuff, and they did reactions, and they're so over the top. Like they like run around the room and like get so into it. So channels like that definitely were inspiration for me. What about you? Do you have any channels that kind of inspired you to start doing the kind of content that you do?
Yeah, I used to watch Brother Sam and Dead Girl Superstar, Ashley. Dead Girl, it's in the front of the thing there, buddy. Dead Girl Superstar, Brother Sam. There was a guy who used to have like a handlebar mustache. I don't even know his name. But I used to watch him. And I'm trying to remember other people that I used to watch back in the day. Brother Sam was like the first one though. He was like my OG. Like, so being able to talk to him, like I hold Sam in high regards. It's amazing.
He's a good dude.
Oh, No Life Shaq.
Yeah.
With his rap reactions, and then I found Laid Back, Lost in Vegas, the Law Twins, like all those guys.
Yeah. There's so many great reactors out there. Somebody said that Jeff Castellucci from VoicePlay mentioned in a recent podcast that he doesn't mind reaction channels as long as they actually add to the experience. What do you do to achieve this? I mean, I think, my opinion, personally, what I do, and you be preparing your answer too, Dennis. What I do, I mean, like I said earlier, try to make it as genuine as possible to, kind of convey how the song makes me feel, how the harmonies make me feel, try to convey that, but also, giving my thoughts about because I'm a songwriter as well, so giving my thoughts on the lyrics, giving my thoughts on the harmonies and stuff, and again, I think what draws people to channels like ours is when and just bringing up Brother Sam, like he's great at this as well. Just that honest, where you feel like somebody's just being real with you about the song, and that's kind of what I try to do, and especially as a singer and songwriter and all that. Like I want to, give as honest of an input as I can. And I feel like that's what adds to it, is when you're honest with the people and not just, because I don't want to dog anybody, but I never wanted to be that kind of channel where I just listen to the song and go, man, this is good, and then just keep playing. Like I never wanted to be that. So what about you?
Well, I saw, because I'm a patron of Home Free Voice Play and Peter Hollins.
Yeah.
So I saw the live stream where he said, the question was asked about reaction channels. And he said that, people don't really, most reactors don't know how much time and effort go into, doing the audio, shooting the video, that it's hours and hundreds of hours of work go into one project.
Yeah.
And just to watch the video and say, "Oh, that was good," to try to monetize somebody else's work.
Yeah.
He looks at that as like, kind of like foul, like, that's poor.
Right. I agree.
But I did reach out to him on Instagram just to let him know, like, not everybody's like that. That there are some good reaction channels. So he and I actually had a good back and forth about that.
Yeah.
And to try to add to what's going on, like, I think for me and for the boys, like, he's starting to know more about music because he can actually sing. But for me, I do not come from a musical background. So I really can only go off of how it makes me feel. Like, I'm learning technical terms here and there, but I can just kind of, in my own special little silly way, point out all the different layers, and when they go in stereo, and when they do this, that, and the other. So it really all comes from this makes me feel this way type standpoint.
Right.
And I remember how, if I would hear something and then I'd go and watch Sam or somebody else see something for the first time, I want to make sure that I'm able to give the viewer that same resharing of the first time experience.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I that's how, I mentioned the channels that did the NF reactions. I mean, what I love, because his lyrics are so deep all the time, and so honest and raw and to the point. Like, I love to see how that connects with people. I love to see how it kind of hits them the first time they hear it, because it takes me back to the first time I heard it. And there's, that's a cool thing. And I know they did a podcast, VoicePlay did. I have the clip saved somewhere of where they gave me a shout out on their podcast. And I guess Jeff's okay with my channel because he mentioned, enjoying my channel and stuff. So I guess that he likes what I'm doing, but I can absolutely see where he's coming from, though, when he says that people that are clearly using their hard work and dedication to their music just to make a buck, just to put no effort in, that's why, I always make it a point not to just sit down and film a video, like to be like, okay, I gotta churn out a couple videos here just to do it. I put thought and effort into all of it, and I don't just want to do something just to do it. I want to make it clear that I appreciate these artists, and what they do.
They sang your intro?
They did on that podcast clip. They were talking about because it was Jeff. He was like, has anybody seen this guy? And then he's like, he starts all his videos by going, he like did that thing. So I'm pretty sure that's what she's referencing. It's amazing because that deal, the reason I do that in every video is because I want to make it clear to new viewers that like I'm a singer and that, I am coming at it from that perspective, and some people hate it. Like some people, not. I'd say it's a minority, but they will comment and be like, "I hate when you do that at the beginning. It's so cringe. Like I hate when you sing all this stuff." And I just delete those comments because like there's no room for more negativity. Yeah, no need for negativity on the internet. But like, it's so funny to me because that makes me just want to do it more.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
You and Emily like rarely do it the same way twice when she's on your channel. You rarely do it the same way twice. It's always kind of switched up.
Right.
How long does it take you guys to practice how you're going to do that?
Well, we just did a couple of days ago. We filmed 3 or 4 in a day, and I always plan ahead what I wanted to watch because, after about 3 or 4 reaction videos filmed, she's like, okay, I need like to take 5. Like I need, but it usually takes a couple minutes. So like we'll sit down. This is literally how it goes every time. You can go watch the video I posted today. We did an intro like this. I sit down and I just sing a random melody, and then she listens to me sing it 2 or 3 times. And then she finds a harmony up above it, and then we just hit record.
Really?
She's got a very good ear for harmony, and so I'll sing it a couple times, and then she'll sing the melody with me a couple times, and then she'll have the harmony, and so yeah, it's really fun, and people love her being on the channel too. It's kind of like having your boys on there with you, and that just brings a whole nother element to the channel. That's kind of how it is when she's on my channel. It's like a whole new vibe to the thing. It switches things up. Somebody said
I'm sorry, I'm like multitasking here.
No, I could tell.
I'm listening to you, but I got like one boy over here who's like completely checked out. He's like over on the
yeah.
And Caleb's like, I need 5 real quick. So
see,
like,
that's what Emily does. That's what Emily does when we're filming. James wants to know who shocked us the most the first time we reacted to them. What do you think, Dennis? Who comes to your mind first?
Dimash.
Yeah.
Dimash. SOS. The first time I heard that.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like, and you would think that it would be like one of the like, because we were listening to like VoicePlay and Home Free before that. Before the longest time, we didn't do headphones or earbuds.
Yeah.
Like we listened. The bass that the computer that we had a pretty good system, so I was able to hear like the bass stuff there. But people kept telling us for 8 months. Do headphones. Do headphones.
Same.
Do headphones.
Yeah.
So eventually, it was like, okay, let's do the headphones. So I'd go back and listen to like some of the other ones, and then I'd hear the bass. I'm like, oh yeah, I should do headphones.
Yeah.
But 100% Demosh when SOS.
Yeah.
Christina and I were like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. I would say, I mean, Dimash is a good one, but to say somebody different, I'll go Marcelito Pomoy. I literally, you talk about genuine, honest stuff. You can go back, and you have to take my word for it. The first time I ever heard him doing that duet where he like swaps between high, low, he does duet with himself pretty much. That was honestly one of the most shocking things I've seen along. Like you can go back and watch it. Just a genuine. That was like I was like convulsing on the couch. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. And then I showed it to Emily on the channel, and like it's got like over 600,000 views or something crazy like that. It's my #1 video. Is me showing her that song. Yeah, so that's again the Filipino artists. Their fan bases are just unbelievable. But yes, I'd say Marcelito. But I mean, the list goes on and on. Like every time Jeff Castellucci hits one of these crazy, or Tim Faust, or one of those, I'm like in awe every time. It never. I'm telling you, Dennis. I told you this before. You got to react to the band Dirty Loops.
Dirty Loops?
Dirty Loops. Some of you in the comment section, if you know what I'm talking about, let them know. You want to talk about. Like, I can send you a list of what songs you need to listen to of theirs. Honestly, probably one of the first reaction videos I did was to them, and like,
so
dude.
What would you? Okay, I'm on their channel. What would you suggest?
Next to You, honestly, I probably listen to that song 3 or 4 times a week, if not more, just because it's one of my favorite songs. They're so like. To give you their vibe, and I don't want to, in case you react to them, I don't want to like give it away. They're so funky. They're so 80s. They're so like,
really?
They're filthy. They're just a 3-piece band, bass, keys, and drums. But the vocalist is absolutely 100% out of his mind insane. Great. And so like, Next to You, Hit Me, they've done a ton of covers. Breakdown was one of their latest ones. Yeah, I would definitely check them out. I'll send you a list after we get off of here of what you need to, because they, like, genuinely, I mean, whether, this is the thing, this is how it is with, like, me and you, I know, because we've talked about it. Even if it doesn't do well in viewership, who cares? It's unbelievable music that you get to, hear. So, they're unbelievable. I actually showed Emily a video of them that we filmed a couple days ago, and so that'll be on my channel later this week. Somebody wants to know if we listen to metal. I'm gonna be honest, I don't. I don't have anything against metal. It's just usually not what I listen to when I'm like driving down the road kind of thing. But I have reacted to Ginger on the channel. I know you have too.
Wow.
Oh my god.
They don't know about it yet, so
okay, I'm not going to give it away, but I will.
Get them on the next Ginger.
But we talked about the most shocking things we've seen on our channons. That would be there.
That's pretty shocking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've reacted to them. Nightwish, I know, like, so I have featured some bands in there.
Is Linkin Park considered metal?
I wouldn't, but I see. I'm not.
Linkin Park's considered.
I don't have enough metal knowledge to be able to tell. Like, some people don't consider certain things that I would consider metal. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to try and be an expert on metal right now because I don't know as much about that genre. But
I like Linkin Park. Okay, so Kelly said no. The reason why I say this is because we listened to some Linkin Park on the way up today too. Also, some NF. We listened to Inner Sandman. We listened to Metallica.
Ooh.
So, State of Mind, Garth Brooks with the Rock Edge. Yeah, we did. Have you heard of State of Mind before?
No.
Dude, they have a version of the Thunder Rolls.
Yeah. I didn't check it out.
It sounds so good.
I have a question for everyone that's on the stream right now. What is your favorite music creator and why do you like them?
My favorite artist?
Yes.
That's cool.
Favorite artist and why do you like it's you know what's ironic about that question is that Tudo is over there interviewing Keith Urban's bass player, and although I'm not as big of a fan of the current country product that's out there, Keith Urban is literally he's top 5 like for me. Yeah, like
Yeah, he's great.
his music has like followed me through my life. I have all of his albums and stuff. So I think Tudo was surprised when he told me that he was interviewing him, and I was like, I need you to understand how big of a deal that is for me that you're interviewing him.
So you're gonna go back and watch it like later?
Yeah, well, I clicked right before we got on. I clicked on there and left a comment that was like, "Man, I've seen you with Keith Urban so many times," and he gave me a shout out on there. So, but I will go back and watch the whole thing later. Kelly said her favorite is Home Free. It's her favorite artist.
Good down home music.
Oh, that
Yep.
reminds me. I'm about to
Chris
do something.
Stapleton.
Ooh,
Hey. Ooh,
Chris Stapleton. Oh, he's nasty.
Did someone say a little while ago for you to do your growl?
No, they said I could do it.
Oh, okay.
They said
Yeah.
that I could.
Okay.
Yeah, have you heard of Chase James? Is it James?
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, James keeps saying. Have you heard of Chase Holfelder? Chase Holfelder.
I have not.
He has a major to minor series on his channel.
Oh, so
where
he
sings-
okay.
Takes a song from a major key, sings it in a minor key,
Mm-hmm.
and I've done 2 reactions so far, and both times I like his version of the song better.
Oh wow. Okay.
It sounds so good.
Wow. That's awesome. I'll have to check it out.
Give him a try.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody said Voice Play is among their favorite artists.
Voice play's kind of winning me over in the acapella realm.
Yeah, man, they're just getting better and better.
And I hate what's going on. You know, Janon left. They never fully replaced Earl. It's like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, I know. So they got some openings in the group.
go and try for him, Brad.
Yeah, I know, man. I sent in a thing when they were looking for collaborators to come in and sing with them. I sent in a thing, but I don't know if they just are kind of holding off on that because they haven't really done. I haven't noticed them doing anything with anybody yet, except for DJ Young, who they've done a few with now. But I had an artist I wanted to mention to you because you have reacted to him before a few times. I have as well. And how ironic that James just mentioned him right as I was about to talk about him, Voctave. Dude, I tell you what, man, like they were one of those, I listened to them before the channel, some of their older stuff, but they are another one that just, they're singing like speaks to you, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
DJ Cardona does something to me when he.
Have you done have you reacted to their "Oh Come All You Faithful"?
I don't know if that's one that I did. I think maybe I did. He did one where he ended it just he went forever.
That's the one.
Then right at the end, he stepped it up even higher at the very end.
Yeah, that's "Oh Come All You Faithful." I think.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
That's where I was hooked. I was like, what in the world was that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was amazing, and James said it's emotional. It is emotional because it like when they're singing like that, and I've been so honored. Tiffany, I'm on a label in Nashville, a gospel label in Nashville, and Tiffany, who sings with them, is on that label, and her and her husband watch my stuff of theirs, and they she sent me for Christmas. She sent me a copy of their CD with a thank you note. I was like, how cool! Like that little stuff like that, like being on YouTube and getting stuff like that, it like makes my day. Like that means like so much to know that those artists appreciate you, in what you say about them and their music and stuff, and especially like I said, Voctive. That Voctive will get you in your feels, but kind of like the Home Free One Voice with Billy Gilman last week. Man, gosh, that one. I legitimately, I got a little teary at the end of that with the, I'm not gonna give it away for anybody that hadn't seen it, but
yeah, well, she's reading and then
yeah, that was a lot, but that's what I love about Home Free though, is because they're goofy guys and they can do the fun stuff, but then they can turn right around and talk about serious issues like that, and you're just as captivated both times. So.
That one got me really good, just because of what the song's about. Because of my buddy Zach.
Yeah.
He was like a little brother to me. That hit home.
Yeah.
That happened with Zach, my buddy Zach last year.
Wow.
Oof.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I mean, that's what I said on my video about it. I said, everybody has either known somebody or known somebody who knew somebody who had been in that spot, and it's just
Everybody's been touched by it.
Yeah, everybody is just touched by it. So, but that's, I'm thankful to have, like on that video, there were a lot of people commenting and saying, I appreciate what you had to say about it, because, it gives us an opportunity to elaborate on the video and the song and talk about that kind of tough subject matter and kind of help be an encourager to people watching, because you never know who may be watching who's going through a tough deal. So I appreciate the opportunity to do stuff like that.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah.
So I think they both tapped out at this point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no problem. This
cool.
They're like in their like they're in the sharpshooter or something, man.
It's in the front part of that bag right there.
Well, you got to get to Kofi Reacts. For those of you just tuning in,
We
Dennis.
waited like an hour and a half before Kofi.
Oh, really? Because I thought you were going in like 30 minutes.
Nah, so it's at like 2:40. It's at 2:45 your time.
Oh, I thought it was 2:45 your time.
We got a while. It's 3:45 mine. We got a while.
Okay. Okay, well, there you go then.
Yeah, we can keep chatting, man.
Yeah, James said men can show emotions as well. Absolutely.
Oh, man, if you see my channel, I cry all over the place. if it hits me in the heart, I'm going to cry.
But you know what? That's a good thing, though, because like we said, when it's genuine and real like that, I think that makes people gravitate toward it even more.
Yeah, if it hits me in the heart, I'm going to cry. This is all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Miranda wants to know, Dennis, can I ask what made you decide to bring your kids onto the channel?
Well, we were doing when we were doing this during lockdown. It was a project for all of us to do, me, the boys, and my fiance Christina. It was just something for us to all do and just kind of have fun with it. That's pretty much it. Like as you can see now, the attention span is not what it used to be for them. That's why they're not in as many videos as they used to be. I think because the first year, we would literally sit down and record like 10 videos at a time, just back to back to back, and that's a lot for at the time a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. Mm-hmm. So I think they're a little burnt out of it.
Yeah.
To be honest. But it's just a family project, and we're not gonna. I'm not gonna listen to anything that's coarse with them in there. There's always that level of trying to protect them from trolls and people that are trying to, say ugly things. And I've faced some people that are like, you shouldn't be exploiting your kids on YouTube. They don't have workers permits and blah blah blah. And to that, I just say whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, people are. I gotta say this. You mentioned. I told you I had a story about a troll.
Yes, please share. This is the time. Please.
So for anybody who has watched my channel for a while, you remember back like last fall, I had this troll named Dan, and he sent me he commented on a video and was just like you need to stop making videos. This sucks. Like, you're awful. And so I really, like, it didn't like hurt me as much as it was just aggravated me, because I was like, there's already enough like hate in the world for you to go on the internet just being rude to a stranger, you know, for no reason. Like, if you didn't enjoy it, you could have just, yeah, Leandra, I'm getting to that. So I was like, you know, let's just kind of make a statement with it. So for like the next week on my videos, I talked about it and I read the comment, and we put up hashtag buy Dan, because we were like, because it was like, I think I like blocked him from being able to see my videos or something. So everybody started commenting hashtag buy Dan on all of the, and I think some people thought it was something to do with like the election, because it was right around the election, and it was thinking like buy Den. Like they were thinking it had some, yeah, it was like, no, it was buy Dan. Like we were saying, get out of here with your hate and all this stuff. Okay, so here's the funny thing. 2 nights ago, I'm sitting there on Instagram and I get a message from Dan. That Dan. Like the Dan. Like 2 nights ago, I'm on Instagram, I get a message from Dan. And it's this long message. It's like, man, he's like, I want to explain. He's like, and this is just like we were talking about. So I talked about this on the Home Free Billy Gilman deal. I was like, you never know what somebody's dealing with. He's like, man, he's like, I got off work that night, had a bad night at work, had a terrible day. And not that that's any excuse to go be mean to people, but he explained, because at the start of the message, I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together, because he didn't start it with, hey man, this is Dan from YouTube. He just started saying, a few months ago, I had a bad night. I was angry. Things weren't going my way. I got on YouTube. One of your videos popped up. I watched it, and I went to the comments and just was mean for the sake of being mean, and I want to apologize. And like this long message said, like, I really appreciate your content. You do great stuff. I was in a bad place that night, and I acted like a fool, you know, just to try and get somebody to notice me, you know. And so I was like, unbelievable. Like, this is Dan. Like, this is Dan from YouTube. So I messaged him back and I was like, Dan, I was like, you're good, man. I was like, because really, I don't want to say like it's all in good fun, because when you're hating on people, that's not fun. That's not good fun or anything. But my reaction to what he said, to me, it was kind of like, in a way, making light of it and being like, you know, we're not going to let your mean words, you know, ruin our day or whatever. And so Dan, yes, somebody commented, Dan owned up to it and apologized, which is not common in today's world. I feel like, and I got to tell you, Dennis, honestly, as I get older, my pet peeve in people is when people can't own their actions. Like, I understand that everybody makes mistakes. Everybody says things they shouldn't. Everybody messes up sometimes. But I can't stand when somebody has to shift blame. Always, it's never their fault.
Deflection.
It's always somebody. That's my pet peeve in people, and that's why I have a lot of flaws. Obviously, we all do. But I always try to make sure that if I've upset somebody, if I've said something wrong, or I always want to own up to it. And
it's the only way that we grow. It's through those pitfalls, through those stumbles, where we actually grow as people.
Yep.
Like, you don't learn right without doing wrong first and making mistakes.
Exactly.
So I get it 100%.
Yeah.
And good for Dan for stepping
in. Yeah, and I appreciate him doing that, because it's like been October, September, or sometime around then. So it would have been just as easy for him to just be like, whatever, it's been like 8 months. But the fact that he felt like reaching out after all this time, you know.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you go into your settings? Do you find his name under the block people? Do you unblock him, and do you welcome him back with hashtag hi Dan?
Oh.
Just wondering.
Let me tell you something, man.
Hi Dan?
As a Christian myself, I'm all about grace. And obviously I forgive Dan. I told him we were good. So that's a good idea, though. Hi, Dan. Welcome back, Dan. Something like that.
Dan. Bye, Dan. Hi, Dan.
Bye, Dan. Hi, Dan.
Not political.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, never. I don't do politics. I don't do politics on the channel at all. Like,
I mean, if you want to you want to make people upset, that's the way to do it.
yeah. There's no pleasing everybody. Yeah, I was just thinking. I appreciated Dan doing that because, like I said, I can't stand. I think it's immature when, and Lord knows there are parts of me I'm never going to grow up. You know, I don't want to, but I think it's a sign of immaturity when you can't just own up, you know, and say I'm sorry and apologize to people. I think that's a sign of the Caleb King's in the chat.
Yeah. So Caleb jumped out of the chair. He went over to the couch.
He would rather watch than to.
Yeah, he'd rather. He's such a clown. I'm sitting looking at him right now.
Yeah.
You're so funny.
Oh man. I wanted to talk about this because we kind of alluded to this when we were with Jacob and Kofi last week on their stream. Do you ever feel, because like we talked about earlier with the wrestling, like we have other interests in our lives and things that we enjoy watching and talking about. Like, do you ever want to like start adding different content to the channel? Because I think it may have been Jacob that last week he did like a poll, or did you do a poll? It was like, what other content would you like to see on the channel? I can't remember if that was you or him.
I didn't do a poll. I just did like a feeler.
Okay. Yeah, it was like the comments.
Yeah, it was just to see what people would say in the comments, if they would be open to that, because I have ideas, but the one thing I don't want to do is to send out notifications to people of things that they have absolutely no care about.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think people would be open to different type of music.
Yeah.
But if I just start throwing out, I'm going to react to a wrestling top 10 list, or, you know, we're going to do a weekly vlog. You know,
yeah.
I don't know how much.
Right. Because I would love to do that kind of stuff. Because like the way I see it, I'm like, hey man, life's short. Do what you want to do. You know, go out there and do whatever you want to do. But like we talked about that day, do you just start another channel for that separate content so that you don't, you know, offend anybody that's subscribed to your current channel? Or do you just create a separate playlist? I think it's the kind of thing where if I decide to start doing completely different content in addition to, like I'm saying, if I start doing other content, I'm not going to abandon what I'm already doing, of course.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But if I started doing other topics or whatever in addition to the music stuff, I would probably just have to acknowledge it on like my community page or something and be like, hey, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to, you know, be doing this. I'm not going to stop doing, because I know when you start doing other kind of content, the first thing people think is he's going to stop doing what he's already been doing. I'm never going to stop doing what the people enjoy and what I enjoy doing. But, and like James said, but you know, subs and stuff are usually going to stick with you and let you know, whatever. So, and when you start getting more subs, you're going to have a variation. There's going to be people who are like, no. And there's going to be people who say, yeah, but the way I see it is I don't ever want to just pigeonhole myself, because like there's a lot of stuff that I'm interested in and that I want to do. And that's Leandra, a good comparison. Patrol Gaming separated his music reactions and gaming to 2 channels, so that it would be separate. So I've definitely thought about doing that as well.
Yeah, but see, I don't know, like this, this is a reaction channel, and it is predominantly music at this point.
Yeah.
So to continue, like to do movie trailers, theaters opening back up, movie trailers are going to really start being a thing again very soon. So to add on movie trailer reactions, it's still reactions.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think that needs to go on a different channel. Wrestling top 10 lists, reacting to those, or any kind of top 10 list.
Right.
It's still a reaction, but it's not a music reaction. So it doesn't necessarily belong on a different channel.
Yep.
But I don't want but I would want people to know that if I started doing those things, they probably wouldn't be every day. It would be like a bonus third video,
Right.
every now and then. But the 2 music reactions a day, that never goes away.
Right, and I think that would, let's say you or I wake up tomorrow, and for me, with like wrestling content or something like, because obviously we're both avid football fans and stuff like that. So when it gets to the fall, if I want to do, weekly discussions about that, if it's streams like this or whatever, I think as long as you keep doing what you've been doing, and it doesn't stop or interrupt what you've already got going, I think that covers a lot. It covers a multitude of sins, I think, as long as people don't feel like you're abandoning, what you're already doing for that. I think if there's a good balance, I think, I think people can, rest easy with it as long as it's not like, but I'm trying to get opinions from everybody. That's why I brought it up on the stream last week. Is that I just wanted to know what everybody's thoughts were. Do you start another channel? Do you just create a separate playlist on the channel you already have? Is it too much work to start another channel? And obviously, somebody said this earlier. I've thought many times about doing a podcast, doing what Tudo is doing now, which is just interviewing other YouTubers, other musicians, singers, whoever I can get to come on. And oh man, we got a great question. These are the kind of questions I love. Somebody said, who would you put on your wrestling Mount Rushmore and why?
So we got to go with 4 here.
Are you talking about, let me ask, are you talking about in general, like my personal Mount Rushmore, or are we talking like
just
in general? Like
undeniable, just in
yeah.
general.
Because if we're talking like undeniable, I feel like my Mount Rushmore, and some of these are some controversial names, but I would put Hogan on, in general, Mount Rushmore. Just you have to put him on there. I would say Hogan.
You have to put Hogan.
I'd say Hogan.
It's like impossible to not put.
He was
Yes.
the mainstream. He was the mainstream face. You have to put
Yeah,
Hogan.
I think it wouldn't exist today if not for him.
Yeah.
It had some very problematic issues in the past few years, but
Yeah, past few years.
yeah.
I would say that I think in his heart of hearts, I think he's trying.
Yeah.
But I think he keeps failing because of that long-term ego that he has.
Oh yeah.
I think it's part of him now, and I think that although he's trying to make amends, he keeps tripping over himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Ric Flair's got to be there too, though.
Man, I'll say Flair for the end. So we both got Hogan, right?
Got to have Hogan, yes.
I would say Steve Austin. I think has got to be on there. Because again, I don't even think it would exist today if not for him. Because they were probably going to go out of business if he hadn't came along.
WCW was winning the ratings war for a long time had not been for Steve Austin.
Yeah. So I think we both agree Hogan and Austin. That's half of it right there.
Hogan and Austin have to be on there.
Listen. I would probably put Cena on there.
Cena?
Because he literally carried the company for 12 or 13 years when they had nobody else. I mean,
Cena. Cena.
We can put him there as a possibility.
Cena is the only person that has been able to go toe to toe with The Rock in promos.
Yeah.
And when The Rock had to write him on his wrist, Cena called him out.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll tell you,
Cena's the only person to give Rock an L on the promos.
I'll tell you this. I think that, and it aggravated a lot of people back then, but I think you can't argue that like no matter what the reaction was when Cena came out, it was always loud. Like people were passionate about him, one way or the other. Yes.
One way or another. Yes.
And it made for unbelievable television. But another name I would throw in the hat is The Rock, of course, because I mean, and maybe I'm partial because of look at the career he's gone on to have, and wrestling was his way to get there. But I don't know, man. I would maybe the only thing that it makes me hesitant about The Rock is that Austin was there at the same time, and I always felt like they were 1A and 1B, but I would have put Rock as 1B to Austin being 1A.
I don't know. This is where we're gonna differ on like our personal.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know if I can give it to either of them. Like James Bond said, seriously, nobody says Sting. That's where I was going because Sting was Mr. WCW.
Well, if we're doing my personal Mount Rushmore, Sting's on there. I can tell you the number one person going on my personal Mount Rushmore would be Shawn Michaels. Like, he's my favorite of all to say. He's absolutely on my personal, along with Sting, and probably Austin would probably still be on my personal.
But we were talking general. So
yeah, so in general,
in general,
if you say Hogan, Austin, and Flair, those three for sure. Because Flair, I think people always said like he's not, people outside the business know who Hogan is, but they don't know who Ric Flair is. That's not even true. I think Ric Flair is a household name in just pop culture.
He is at this point.
Definitely.
Definitely when it was still a territory thing, he was known southeast where we are.
Yeah.
But he definitely blew up. Oh man, just to put 4 up there because now I'm seeing Dusty Rhodes here.
Yeah, and you also got to think about like Bruno Sammartino. Undertaker's on my personal.
Yeah,
he's on my personal, and anytime him and Shawn Michaels got together for a match, man, good lord. I mean
both Mr. WrestleManias.
Yeah. Somebody said Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I don't know about that. Gosh, that fourth person on like just in general Mount Rushmore. Ugh, man.
What about Ultimate Warrior?
No.
I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't quite put him there. Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior was full of energy and strength, but not really. We're still trying to figure out what he's talking about on his promos.
Dude, I was at a live show the week after he died. They came to Birmingham, and I was at the live show. They did the 10 bell salute and everything, and somebody mentioned Ted DiBiase right here. I met Ted at WrestleMania Access. He's a preacher now, and he was inviting me to like a church he was coming to preach at in Tuscaloosa. I should have gone. So, man, I don't know, man. There's so many names come to mind. I think I'll tell you a name that doesn't get enough credit, especially for the last decade, and so many people are going to roll their eyes, you included. I think Brock Lesnar doesn't get enough credit for. For my money, the last 10 years, the most interesting matches I've seen were matches that involved him. And I know that like he does the same 3 moves over and over, but like Hogan did too, and Austin did too. I think he doesn't get enough credit for his selling. I don't think he gets enough credit for. I'm not saying he belongs on the Mount Rushmore, but I'm saying I think he's closer to it than a lot of people think because he, he's just like. When you're watching a lame episode of Raw and he comes out, you kind of set up in your chair a little bit, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because when you put him and Heyman together, it's magic.
Because his physical presence, being there, and Heyman on the mic, sheesh.
Heyman on the mic, oh my goodness. When the Lord puts you in a sleeper.
Oh man, great!
I'm done.
I like. I tell you what, and if I had to make a Mount Rushmore for the last 10 years,
that would be easier to do. To be honest with you,
I would absolutely put Daniel Bryan on there. I think Daniel Bryan, and I think he's about to kind of call it a career soon, but I don't know of anybody who's gotten reactions like him over the last 10 years. Like I feel like that yes thing that we did earlier, like,
Yeah.
God, that thing was spread
It took
everywhere.
off.
There's basketball
it took
teams doing that. Like, I think,
And the crazy thing is he didn't come up with it. Like, that was a Diego
I know,
Sanchez.
I know. He just kind of copied it, and it wasn't even like he wasn't even doing it to try and like get everybody doing it. He was just doing it to have something to do when he went down the ramp, and then everybody just
It was like, no.
yeah. And it all started when he got beat in like 15 seconds or something.
At WrestleMania,
Yeah.
like, it was that Intercontinental Championship match. He came in and like, I think AJ Lee kissed him or something like that. He
Yeah.
lost it.
Somebody said I used to have the biggest crush on Matt and Jeff Hardy. I wanted to be Lita. I think Lita, like top five women's wrestler. She was ahead of her time. She was so ahead of her time. She's one of those from back then. Because let's just say the women at that time were portrayed a lot differently than they are today. But she was one of those that like you felt like could go out there and like
She could tussle.
like tear the house down, you know, in an actual match. And Matt and Jeff, did you watch their Broken stuff years ago?
yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was gold. Look at like a lot of people hated it because they said it was ridiculous. I was like, it's pro wrestling. Like it's supposed to be ridiculous.
It was ridiculous when they turned it from Broken to Woken.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when it was in TNA Impact.
Yeah.
It was good.
Because I think
So different.
I think where the disconnect comes when WWE tries to do goofy stuff like that with like the Woken, Broken, whatever. I think WWE wants to make it like a high quality Hollywood production.
Yeah.
And it only works if it's shot on like a camcorder, like clearly homemade on like Windows Movie Maker. Like that's what makes it work. And WWE wants to make it like a Hollywood performance.
So over the top.
Yeah, they want it to look good and like it's wrestling. I don't tune in for like great quality stuff. I want it to be ridiculous. I want it to be Stone Cold spraying beer on Vince while he swims in the ring. Like
Balls all over the place.
yeah, like flopping like a fish. Like that's what I want when I tune in. Just over the top craziness. You know?
Have you seen any of the Dark Side of the Ring episodes?
So I watched the Owen Hart one. It was very depressing.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was so avoidable. And the Chris Benoit one, also heartbreaking.
that one was just like, wow.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I realized after watching that Chris Benoit one, because of course I know the story, but I never realized how dark of a place he was in after Eddie Guerrero passed away until I watched that Dark Side of the Ring. And I also never realized how poorly the WWE treated his son after his son that's still like alive today.
Yeah.
Had like that nobody reached out to him, you know, because they just kind of cut ties with.
Yeah. The Benoit name.
Yeah, and I get that, like I would too, but it's not his son's fault, like that he
Not at all.
went crazy. Somebody is giving a shout out. Let me in,
Let me in.
man. They don't know what to do with that guy. I guarantee you that.
I saw something yesterday on a wrestling channel that I watch. He's having a hard time with Brody Lee's.
I saw that.
Brody Lee's death, so he's asked to step
Yep.
away from like a mental break.
Yeah, I saw that. I have mad respect for the effort he puts into his character because sometimes it feels like he's the only one doing it.
He's reinvented himself many times over Husky Harris and
Yep.
Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, and then
Yep.
like just to be able to do all of that.
Just to think he could do all that and then he couldn't beat Goldberg, you know?
Yeah,
One jackhammer and he was finished.
I like what they've done. How they've pushed it off on Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yep.
like who would have thought that Prim and Proper over here would go in a dark route like that?
Yep. And she does a good job with it.
Yowie, wowie.
What's the doll she's got now? She's got a Lily. Yeah, that's creepy.
I think that's gonna be Nikki Cross.
I hope so. They need to do something with Nikki. I want to see more. I want to see some different faces getting pushed in the women's division. And I don't have a problem with I love Bailey. I love I love the work Bailey's done over the last since like the pandemic started. She
You
really
got a Bailey
like.
shirt, don't you?
I do. I'm a big fan of Bailey. Was never as big of a fan of Sasha until recently. I feel like over the last year, she's been tremendous. Bianca Belair, I love. Bianca's one of my favorite people on the show right now.
What?
No, no,
Oh, come on.
no. I didn't.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Rumble. Well, we're going to pay him now because we
He's
said
like,
that.
it's time.
Yes. That made me think of Vader right there. It's Vader time.
Vader time. Vader time.
Man, they should have put that guy in the Hall of Fame while he was still alive. That's a travesty that they didn't.
Even Macho Man too. Like, got Macho Man up there. Like, he should have seen. But they had some unresolved issues.
Yeah, Macho Man had a lot of unresolved issues with people. My favorite was on his documentary recently when they were like, you got Hogan on there, and he's like, he said, I don't think that Savage and Steamboat were trying to top me and Andre at WrestleMania 3. I don't think they were trying to like outdo us or anything. They immediately cut Steamboat, and he's like, we were absolutely trying to outdo them. Like, and boy, it's not even a contest of, they
It's one of the greatest wrestling matches.
blew him out of the water. Somebody said, I want to see Bray Wyatt versus The Fiend portrayed by a different wrestler. That would be something.
Cinematic, in the cinematic world,
Yeah.
he'd be able to portray both people.
Yeah, exactly. As long as they don't have the live crowds, which you got to wonder though, how long is it going to be till they have live crowds? Because AEW's pay-per-view at the end of the month is going to be in a full arena.
Yeah.
Like, did you watch WrestleMania this year? Dude, I don't think I realized how refreshing it was going to be to see people in the stands. Like,
Well, see, I've been watching AEW. They've had people in.
right, they're like in the
small
distance,
crowds.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't wait until I can tune in to a wrestling show and just have a full arena again and people cheering.
I can't wait till I get back to a full arena because we went to Dynamite in Atlanta
Yep.
last February before everything shut down.
Yep. It's definitely been tough, and obviously you talk about football. I mean, it's looking like all sports are about to get back going. And I'm originally from Nashville, huge fan of the Tennessee Titans,
Yes.
like diehard. And so they got a Monday nighter at home against Buffalo, and I'm planning on being present at that event. Because I usually at least go to one game a year, and I didn't get to last year because of COVID. So I can't wait to just be at live events again, live concerts, live sporting events, wrestling, all that stuff, man.
Get your home free tickets, man.
Yeah, I know they're coming close multiple times. They're going to be in a lot of different areas close to me.
They're in Atlanta in December.
Yeah, they're also in Huntsville, which is close to me too. So. Somebody said, what's your favorite finisher, your favorite wrestling finisher? I gotta go stunner. I think the stunner is just like, it's very electrifying, like, but I also love sweet chin music.
Sweet shit.
The RKO is nice. The RKO / diamond cutter, or whatever you want to call it.
What did the Road Warriors call their clothesline off the shoulders?
Oh man, the Doomsday Device.
Is that what that was?
I think it was the Doomsday Device.
That one, and here I'm in. Also, I think I'm going to bring in a kind of a new one that the Young Bucks are using, the Meltzer driver.
Yeah, yeah.
Tombstone with the front flip spike. I like that. That's cool. It's great. It's inventive.
Did you watch Dynamite the other night?
Yeah.
What do you think about Cody's promo? A lot of people hated it.
I like this promo.
Hated his promo.
I like this promo.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I'm saying a lot of people like hated his promo.
I like this promo because he came from the heart. He was like,
Yeah.
he gets to like it may have been a little bit too much social stuff, and
Yeah.
I mean I can see where people can get tired of that stuff being in every bit of entertainment.
Yeah.
But I think he hit on something that means something to him, and I think some of it too was the way Brandy got treated in WWE, and to see where she is now,
Yeah.
where they live, where they live, and how things have progressed. I didn't hate it. I didn't come off saying, "Oh man, that's the greatest promo of all time," but definitely didn't hate it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Dynamite show.
Your dreams.
Yes. He had he had some sweet entrance music. Dun, 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 dun. Love it.
What's your favorite entrance music?
Oh. I feel like I keep going back to Steve Austin's, but I loved his entrance music because that, the glass shattering thing was awesome. Like you knew somebody was about to get whooped. I loved the bass riff of The Rock's entrance music. I love the Brood. The Brood had great entrance music.
I remember the Brood's music.
I loved. It was the.
Gangrel.
It was so good. That was a great imitation of it. I loved the Cult of Personality. CM Punk when he went to the Cult of Personality. Edge. That Edge may be the top.
Metalingus.
Edge may be the top. That was like that. He's got great entrance music. Goldberg's was very epic. I liked Goldberg's because it was that
Yeah.
Um,
when I was a kid watching wrestling, Lex Luger had a really good entrance music back when it was still Jim Crockett NWA. He had a really awesome entrance music back when I was like 8 years old, forever ago. But that was my old favorite, and I still remember it. Don't ask me how to do it because I can't do it justice.
I do remember. I tell you what, I remember his WCW theme when the Monday Night Wars, just that guitar riff over and over. And the only reason I remember it, and it brings me such joy, is because I remember the night he beat Hollywood Hogan on Nitro to win the title, and nobody thought he was going to win. He won the title, and they just played his entrance music for ever while they all celebrated. Because that was back when when the good guy won, all the other good guys would run out and they would celebrate and lift them up on their shoulders. It was like that kind of stuff. That was some awesome stuff when they used to,
I think the best babyface win where they came down and celebrated and everybody went crazy, as far as I can remember, is when Sting beat Flair that first time at the Great American Bash.
Yep.
That was just when he put him in the inside cradle in 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That was just something different.
Sting doesn't get enough credit, man, for. I think people forget because especially you think back to late '90s when you're talking about who was over. Everybody remembers Goldberg and Austin and Hogan and all that, but Sting was so over. He when he had the face paint drop down from the rafters with his bat, people would lose it when he did that stuff, man.
Just to go from such blonde hair and bright colors to just a dark, non-speaking character. No promos for a year and a half. It was the most over person in the company.
Yep, and it's a great story, a great storyline with him and the NWO, and then they ruined it at the end because WCW was nothing if not incompetent.
The whole fight against being the WCW man and not going to NWO, just to further a storyline. Sting joins the Wolfpack.
I hated it. Now the red face paint looked awesome, but I hated him being with any form of the NWO.
The Wolfpack thing was pretty good though. Don't turn you back on the Wolfpack.
You might wind up in a body bag.
That was C Murder.
Yes. Oh man. I'll tell you what.
Soldiers.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. Like I said earlier, there's nothing when wrestling's done right. There's not much better. Well, I think I would like to go get something to eat because I haven't eaten today, and you got Kofi. So everybody, make sure in like an hour to hop on over to Kofi Reacts. First of all, help Kofi get to 10K. He's inching closer and closer to 10K. So go over there and help him, and he's going to be going live with Dennis. I guarantee you they're not going to talk about wrestling. So yeah, but he's going to be over there with Kofi in like an hour or so. And I can guarantee you Kofi won't have audio issues because he's been streaming for a while. I appreciate everybody hopping on because I know there's still probably some technical difficulties to work out. So this was like the first.
You get it figured out.
Yeah, I think we got it mostly figured out. I'm looking at the video. The video's lagging like that much, which is kind of aggravating. But we'll get it fixed up. And Dennis, you're getting close to 40K right now, right?
Getting close.
So you guys, if you're watching, you're not subscribed to King Family Reacts, get on over there.
There's our boy. There's our boy.
There he is. Shout out Kofi Gang.
Kofi Gang, what's up, dude?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you to everybody that's giving me congrats on 80K. Man, crazy. I was sitting there. You already know the feeling, Dennis, when you're just hitting refresh. And it finally hit 80K. I was like, unbelievable. So, yeah, save your questions for next time. There will be a next time, man. I enjoy getting on here shooting the breeze. So get Dennis to 40K, get Kofi to Kofi's giving me a hard time. Go
Getting the buzz. When I get on his channel, he's gonna give you the
He's
buzzer.
gonna give me a buzzer. So go check out Kofi Reacts, help him get to 10K. Dennis is gonna be on there in like an hour with him. And I'm sure the boys will be back for a little bit of that. They'll come hang out. Kofi, don't expect the boys to be on there for too long because they'll abandon him. Yeah. So go do that, and thank you to everybody for tuning in and kind of hanging out with us, even though we had some technical difficulties at the beginning. And we'll do it again, Dennis. Man, we need to get back on here and get it going again, man. We didn't even talk about Alabama football, man.
We can save football for next time. Because I was thinking a little while ago that you hit on football for a second. I was like, man, we ain't even talked about football.
Yeah, man, we'll have to get to that. But
you're an Auburn fan, right?
Kind of. I mean, real quick, when I moved to Alabama, like college football is like it's everything here, and you got to choose like when you get here, Alabama or Auburn. And I chose Auburn, and I love college football. Like, I could watch college football all day. I'm more of an NFL fan. I mean, NFL is like where, like, the Titans are like I love all sports, but, like, the Titans and the NFL, like, they are the tippy top,
The Titans.
Yes, and then, I have teams. I'm a big Lakers fan, big Braves fan, but the Titans are like the number one. But college football, I kind of just enjoy watching the game, like, because especially once they get the live fans back in full stadiums, there's so much excitement that you get from that environment in college football that you just don't get anywhere else. So,
Nothing like it.
Yeah, so I love college football, but as far as like a team that I'm devoted to, I find that in the NFL. But we'll talk more about football next time, and. Yeah, Lakers, man. I'm big Lakers fan. Somebody's asking about Lakers. Anyway, it's good to have you on, Dennis, man. I appreciate it. And we will be back soon. I'm telling you, we'll do another live stream. I know we'll be back with Jacob and Kofi next week on one of their channels or my channel or something. And then, we'll have more with just two of us. And so any departing words for the people, Dennis?
I mean, this was great. Thank you guys for those that stayed on the whole time and those that are jumping on and off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Brad, for wanting to do this, and it's always fun to just jump on and just shoot the breeze with you and the other fellas and all of our chatting. And we have an Instagram kind of crew chat that we do, and it's just fun just to hang out with my YouTube brother and just have a good time. We're about to end it. You want to jump on and say bye real quick?
Yeah, any final words? Bye, man. We'll have to do it again. And thank you guys. Go check out Dennis and Kofi Reacts on Kofi's channel in a little less than an hour. Thank you guys. Take it in, soak it up. Bye, everybody.